And we're off. First official day of the workshop. We're on the go with our breakfast in tow.
Oh, it's gonna be a good day. It's gonna be a really good day.
In the morning, we're supposed to be drafting, all of us, the entire frame that we'll be building as a class. And then this afternoon, I think we're cutting all of the timbers to length.
Yep.
I think that's it. I don't think we're working on joinery. And Pat said every student will get to do every single task. So we might not do a lot of every task, but we'll have the opportunity to learn every single skill, so.
Let's set some of this. Looks like we gotta sit in the Some people were fortunate enough to take drafting in high school. This used to be standard curriculum. I think it's really cool that they teach kind of the fundamentals because it's more about understanding the basics, and then you can go home and draw, and it's very buildable. So I'm pretty excited to be using this ridiculous tool. If you don't know what these are, I've had these in my toolbox for a long time, and they're really annoying because they're always backwards from where you want them to be. They do make different ones, but it allows us to draw in scale, which is kind of fun. Where I'm excited to kind of learn is the bird's mouth. I think that joint is intimidating at first, and I'm curious to see the layout on it because like the concept is clear, but the drawing part is like everything moves in. It has to move in, except for it looks like because the rafter goes right out the edge of the building like this. It may be more simple than I think, but I'm excited to figure out how to draw that. As you can see here, Alyssa has a background in graphic design, and at one time had to turn in papers to a college professor.
Okay.
So she cares greatly about the cleanness of her drawing.
I'm meticulous.
And then there's Jessie.
Break time.
They let us out.
Yeah.
We're back in the world. Hey, it's kind of fun.
We have tracking devices on our ankles though, so we can't go too far.
We're under house arrest. I am loving drawing with Alyssa. It's super fun.
Are you being sarcastic?
No, I love it. It's so fun to draw together because we really haven't got to do it. You use like InDesign or something. Yeah. And I use SketchUp, and we never get to just draw together. And apparently it takes flying 3,000 miles
to draw together.
to get us to sit down and draw together.
It's kind of nice to go back to the basics. I think
it's super fun.
Yeah, so far we're learning fairly basic stuff, but I mean, I don't know, it's a lot of good concepts to wrap your head around.
I think it'll help us later. I'm looking forward to the hands-on, but one thing at a time. You know, learning to do the basics, then go out and start cutting wood, because uncutting wood's much harder than erasing on paper, which I've done a lot of. We should see whose eraser has more wear at the end of the day. We should label our erasers, Jessie and Alyssa, and see whose eraser has more.
Probably mine, because I'm more meticulous.
Oh, could be.
Like if there's a smudge. So this is pretty awesome.
Yeah, cute little cabin. That'd be a great office, wouldn't it? Like a studio.
We can do it one day. They say that students that misbehave are buried out back. We're gonna go to the student graveyard, probably on our next break.
Yeah. I wonder if they even give you a headstone. And maybe like say what you did wrong.
Probably.
Like didn't follow instructions.
Yeah. Class was great. We learned how to draft, the basics of drafting an actual timber frame to scale using different scales. We also talked a little bit about foundations.
Yep, and drawing the structure in you know, some of the enclosure systems. And also we talked a lot about like the timber selection and drying the timbers and why drying happens the way it does. You know, we got to ask a lot of wonderful questions. So we haven't cut anything yet, but I feel like we got a really good kind of like foundation for what we're gonna work on. And I think we drew the frame that we're gonna build. So that was pretty helpful. We didn't do a lot of detail on the joinery, I'll say that. We drew basically the basic lines of the structure. So I'm kind of curious how that's gonna work out. We're gonna start cutting timbers to length this afternoon, so
I think what's also cool is there's a lot of information out there, especially on the internet, and it's not all good for every circumstance. So these folks build all around the world, and they say there's no one way to skin a cat, but we kind of sifted through a lot of poor information. So I think that's a value of a workshop with people that really know what they're doing and that you have faith in.
Yeah, and this is not exhaustive. I think that's something that's worth noting, is that this class is not going to teach you everything you possibly need to know. It's enough to teach you to build this frame, but you're still a lot of learning after this. We felt like there was a lot of topics where people had questions and they just didn't get a lot of answers. It's not because they weren't available. That's just not what this class is for. So, you know, this is not meant to be an exhaustive resource.
And on that note, I think it's time to get some food.
It's snack time. And then, drone.
Right, into the workshop we go.
Lunch? What lunch?
Right?
Back to work.
I stuffed my face. Time to put this baby to work. Did you get the Zoran saw too, or just this one?
I did.
Nice.
And I used them both so far.
Oh, cool.
I didn't use this big one yet, but...
Which one do you like more?
I think they both have different purposes. That's definitely that Zoran.
Yeah. This seems a lot
Zoran is
hardier. Like
definitely
you could reef on it a little better.
Yeah, this is definitely a get through the wood quicker.
Yeah.
But
I think that's why we got it.
I did some ripping with this one and I really liked it.
So I guess these are all the beams that we're gonna turn into a 24 by 24 structure.
So I actually feel a little bit of an imperfection in this beam. It's bowed out a little bit right here.
Yep. I think it's challenging to do with gloves on. I feel like you can't really feel.
You can't feel. Yeah.
I don't know if we want to practice a cut on the one we messed up.
No, we want to lay them all out, then cut them.
Okay.
So this one, if you took your glove off and you felt it, there's a bit of concave here. It's a little thin here, a little thick there, and a little thin here. It's not a lot.
It's perfect.
Nice, good job. Oh wow, that's like surgical precision.
I just want to say we're the only ones that haven't made a cut yet, but our cuts are perfect.
Our lines. We haven't made any cuts yet. Yeah. All right.
Definitely.
What you got?
Our Zoran saw.
So this is a Japanese pole saw.
Yes.
It's a very unique one made by Silky. It's called the Zoran. And this is what all the students are using. It's highly recommended by the school.
I'm sure our saws now are good, maybe, I don't know, but this one I'm really excited about. I like the idea that this is a lot more ergonomical, and we just learned a really cool way to saw, and I've been sawing wrong like
We've
my
been doing
entire
it all
life. I don't know, it's just moving all over the place.
I like to use my thumb.
Okay.
High.
Okay.
Right there.
So try to go more shallow. Yeah, there you go. That's looking better.
Yeah, it's just hot. What are your thoughts? Am I crazy, or do you see what I'm talking about?
Pretty good. I understand, but I never didn't understand. There's a lot of sawdust in here.
Yeah.
So that might have been an issue for you.
I feel like the saw is easier to cut with. I just feel like I'm having a hard time getting a hang of it. Jesse's the professional mistake fixer.
No.
First cut. Looks good on camera. It really does.
So actually you're doing really great up here.
Yep.
You're doing really great. And then just off, you're off by almost a quarter down here. This side's pretty severe too. But again, you're doing pretty well up here. And then started to cut in.
I ain't gonna lie, that problem was just having a hard time getting the saw.
Well, that's why we're practicing, right? So. No, that went really good. I mean, pretty cool. It's all cut by hand.
Yep.
Very clean cuts. bringing those home as presents.
Yay.
I think we should send them to people. Sign them,
Really?
and then send them
Like
to
for
people.
real?
Yeah, like as a
real,
gift.
for real?
Yes, like sign them and then give them to people.
I think that's it for the day. I think it's time to wrap it up now.
Yeah, everybody's been cleaning up. We're
Right.
like slower than molasses.
Right.
But I
But, you
didn't
know,
come here to set a record. I
I
came
think
here to
with
learn.
this, it's the tortoise and the hare approach.
Yeah, you know what was really cool about Alyssa doing the last cut is she got to use our saw, even though Pat, the founder of the class, started the cut for her, and the cut is dang near perfect. And I think it's really important that Alyssa learn these skills because it takes a little bit of pressure off me having to teach so much. And I think it's really beneficial to her to have somebody else giving her instruction and coaching and that. So it helps the relationship dynamic a little bit. Otherwise I become the tutor instead of the husband, you know. So anyway, she did a fantastic job. That cut looks absolutely perfect. I don't know where she got it. She was like, must have been playing the whole time, like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. And then like a laser. I don't know. I have to say, I've never owned a saw with a good sheath. I'm not saying we shouldn't buy sheaths, but this is a pretty nice one. So anyway, time to put all the tools away, and then I don't know what we're doing. I think we're getting instructions.
I don't know.
Or, I don't know, maybe we're all just going for a beer. So we just spent 3 hours making 7 whopping cuts in an 8x8 beam. But we learned the value of precision when it comes to using the timber framing square and averaging out the irregularities in a timber. So pretty important skill. We also learned the value of a sharp pencil. And we also got to use our new pull saw, which is a completely different tool than either of us have ever used. And we sure look like a couple of left-handed ninjas. But in the end, Alyssa nailed it. Nailed the final cut on the beam. So it was a pretty exciting afternoon.
And now I think we're going to dinner and cocktails.
Yeah, we're
or
gonna
whatever they call
socialize.
them.
Classic.
Yeah. Looks like we're eating at Kennebec Tavern. Hope they have cider.
And you guys don't get to go with us.